Good morning, YouTube, and today I will be profiling for you my Battleguard deck. This is really a fun deck that's based off of the Swamp and the Lava Battleguard that came way back out in Metal Raiders, and Joey had the Swamp, and Tristan had the Lava Battleguard and won Joey a game. And it gained a little bit of support when Arc 5 came out, and they released Battleguard's King, which synergizes, but it doesn't really. So I said, well, you know what? Let's just make a deck out of it anyway. I put it off for about a year, and this morning I was at 4 o'clock when I woke up. Let's do it. So we have a lot of trolley business to go on with this deck. I think that's what they are. I could be wrong. So let's hop into it and have some fun. Starting off with our monsters, we run 2 of the Battleguard King. He really just gives you an extra attack by tripling a warrior type monster during each of your battle phases. I mean, you know, if you play one of those cards that gives you a second battle phase, I guess that works. Really, you can possibly OTK with him, but it's not going to happen too often. And so I run him as a duplicate just so I can see him a little bit easier, and there's plenty of easy ways to get him out in this deck, as we'll see as we progress along. Next, we run a playset of the Swamp Battleguard and the Lava Battleguard. They both just gain 500 if the other one's on the field. For each of the opposing ones, so like let's say you have 2 swamps and 1 lava. Lava will be at 2550 and swamp will be at 2300. So it's a fun little gimmick. Obviously, they didn't really ever have their heyday, but with the way this deck is designed, they have a little bit more synergy and purpose. Moving on, we run a playset of Earth Armor Ninja. Now, this is essentially a Cyber Dragon. Gives you a free special summon if your opponent controls a card, but a little bit weaker, but he fits the Earth attribute, and he's a warrior and a level 5, so we run him instead of Cyber Dragon because it works really well, especially when we get to this next card. To run a playset of Tenma, the Sky Star. This is a card that came out in the Battles of Legend Relentless Revenge, I believe. I could be wrong in the pronunciation. Either way, it revolves around the whole Sky Star thing that came out in Arc 5, and it has its own little deal, but usually this is the card you don't want to see, but it actually has some nice synergy with this deck. So let me go ahead and read it off for you for a second. If your opponent controls a monster, or if you control an Earth monster, which so far that's all we have is Earth monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If he is normal special summon, you can special summon 1 level 5 Earth warrior type monster from your hand, and you can only use that once per turn. So that in itself gives you an extra, just normal summon of a 5-star monster, so all of your battle guards, or of your 5-star ones, that's pretty good. And then he has an additional effect when your opponent activates a card effect that would target a monster. You can lower his attack by 500 and negate and destroy that card. So it's a nice little fun gimmick thing that you can throw into here. Obviously, you can make it work better in its own deck, but it actually works here for this purpose that I'm trying to do. Next, we're on a playset of Valkyrian Knight. She's kind of gimmicky, but again, all this whole deck is. If she's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish her and another warrior-type monster from your graveyard to special summon a level 5 or higher warrior from your grave. So it actually gives a little bit of synergy. And it actually works with the Marauding Captain business that I have a playset of. You know, the old lock where you just normal summon Marauding Captain or bring out another one. Well, now you can also just bring Valkyrian Knight or Marauding Captain, and it's a nice little prevention from battle phase because your opponent can only attack them and, you know, they can't do anything. So we run a playset Marauding Captain. Really, his only target is himself and Valkyrian Knight in this deck, but it works well for what it is. Next, we're going for the really trolly portion. We run a playset of a Monarch Storm 4th. Playset of Brain Control, 2 Soul Exchange, and 2 Mind Control. Now, with the bumping up of the Monarch Storm 4th to 3 again, you can definitely use that, get any of your battle guards out, especially with all this other stuff going on here. So the Monarch Storm 4th and Soul Exchange give you your tribute summons. The Brain Control and the Mind Control can give you nice access to some link summons. It's just, it's a wonderful trolley gimmick, and really all these in one deck is a little bit much, but it works for what this deck is trying to accomplish, which is take all your opponent's monsters and punch face. It's not the best strategy, but it works situationally. It's pretty cool. Next, probably the most underappreciated card in the deck is Feast of the Wild level 5. This is a card that came out in Duelist Alliance. Has nice little battle guards dancing around it. You can special summon up to 2 level 5 warrior type monsters from your hand and or graveyard. So this isn't only limited to your lava and swamp battle guard. You can also bring out your ninja. You can also bring out your sky star. It's a nice thing, and it doesn't prevent you from doing any special summoning or attributing for the rest of that turn. So it lets you plus out of just being itself, and it's not limited to once per turn. It's a really nice card, and if there ever is a 5-star level 5 deck, warrior deck that can abuse it, it would be wonderful. You play it in Legendary Fisherman's, it also works well in there. It's a really great card. Next, rounding up our spells, run a playset of Magnum Shield. This deck is a little bit more focused on the battle phase. When I was talking about the OTK, having the Battleguard King equipped with this, or really most of your battle guards anyway, having the Battleguard King equipped with this, and usually you'll tribute him out with all your tribute summon cards. You can attack twice and punch face. So it's nice and puts most of your warriors at a really formidable attack base, so it's nice, fun, different at a playset. Next, run a playset of Battleguard Howling. Yes, I only put this in here because it says Battleguard, but it actually is a pretty decent card. When a warrior type monster is you control is targeted for attack or card effect, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack, and then return it back to their hand. So it's an archetypal compulse that's at a playset. So it's kind of, or rather not archetypal, it's just a type compulse. It's actually not that bad. So we run it as a playset just for the gimmick because we love it. Next, rounding up our main deck, run a Battleguard Rage. This only gives you a 1,000-point boost, and cards that monster destroys, the one that you give the 1,000-point boost to, are returned to their hand instead of being sent to the graveyard, which is very situational. We run it at 1 just because it's a fun gimmick and it actually has some utility on occasion. I lend a friend a lot of my rank 5 XCs. I never really got them back, but what I still do have is a Shark Fortress, which gives you the additional Marauding Captain Valkyrian Knight aspect where you can only target him for attacks, and you can give an additional attack to a monster once per turn. Not bad. Number 14, Grady Salamandria. It does effects damage back to your opponent instead of you, so it's really nice against those trolley decks. And then it also blows up your opponent's field with monsters less than the monster that with less attack than what it destroys. It's all right. And then number 16, Volcasaurus, just spot removal, extra burn damage. Of course, there are plenty of other rank 5s that you can throw into here. I left a little bit of space in my X deck for those, but I don't have them. But anyway, this is a really good lineup for what I have so far. The rest are just generic or okay enough link monsters that can, you can do stuff with. Isolde, obviously, for the Rhoda effect. Mrs. Radiant, because there's a lot of Earths in here. Underclock Taker, because it's generic, and you can lower attack. It's pretty fun. Acacia Magician to bounce things. Cerebus and Phoenix, because they're just great. Decode Talker, because for your generic rank 3 plays. Arcana Extra Joker. This is really a fun thing, because it still fits within the warrior aspect. So you can get a few of your boosts off of that. Once per turn, if a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, you can discard the same type of card to negate that card effect. So it's a really nice thing. The last effect doesn't really apply to this deck because it involves normal monsters, but I thought I'd throw in here because it's a decent link 3 for warriors. Borolo Dragon and Topologic Bomber Dragon. Obviously, you can throw whatever you want to instead, but these are just what I have, so it's what I put in there. That's going to wrap up our Battleguard deck profile. Obviously, it's not the best thing in the world, but you can definitely pull off some fun plays with this deck. Let me know if you have any other ideas of what we can do to make this deck better. It's more so just for fun. I probably won't keep it together, but it is fun for the time being and something nostalgic, and I just wanted to do